This episode of Knights of Degradation may not be suitable for children or impressionable adults. Listener discretion is advised.
Eventually you're not falling anymore, and you hit water. So I wasn't sure how I wanted to do damage for this, because it's a really long fall, but it's into water, and I think we're just going to rule of cool it. You guys don't take damage.
Okay.
Just for the sake of story and stuff, but you fall...
If you really wanted us to take damage, you can. I don't
No, that's
care.
all right. If I did, I don't think I'd do it correctly, so I'd rather just, like I said, just not worry about it. You guys are going to be hurting and stuff like that, obviously, but you basically fall into this pit, which it gets darker and darker until you hit water with just this enormous splash, and then later on, another little splash after you fall in. And so everyone roll, I guess, a swim, be in strength or athletics or swim or whatever it is.
I got athletics.
Yeah.
I think that'll work. Take disadvantage because your guys' hands are still bound. All three of you, actually.
I got a nat 20 on that.
Yeah, I had a nat 20 and
Keep dropping it.
a total of
This is always when I get the most 20s is when I take disadvantage.
15.
12.
I got a nat 20 and I got a 20, but the
Okay.
second one wasn't nat.
Okay. So I think all three of you are fine, right? It's not super hard to be buoyant. So you kind of float up to the top. It's really dark, but there's still some like natural light coming in just a little bit. And you're in this big, open, sort of natural cavern. And there's this crazy amount of water all the way around you, but you can see up a little bit of ways ahead. There is some land, like where the water ends, where you could climb up on.
Okay. I'm actually absolutely going to the land. So there's natural light. I'm assuming that I count the three of us, and the lady's not like...
You don't see her.
Okay.
She's not floating, I guess.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. Yeah, I'm just going to make my way to the shore then.
Okay.
As will I.
I guess I'm going to float over there.
Yeah, just kind of.
I'll say I was bound pretty tight, is my understanding.
So as you guys sort of get to the land, the good thing that's happened is the water has sort of moistened that rope, and it's made it a little easy to slide your hands out of, which you can do pretty quickly. As you do it, you can kind of feel it start to get tighter. Maybe it gets stuck on just one of your wrists, not tight enough to do any damage, but we'll say that that's where they're at for now.
And you said this is like a natural light that's illuminating?
Sort of, yeah, just like a reflection coming from somewhere. Nothing unnatural or magical. It's very low light.
Okay.
But it's still like a dark cavern.
Okay.
How far down was the fall?
Honestly, you're not really sure.
So we don't see anything.
No, as you look up, no, it's just dark.
Okay.
That might seem a little unnatural to you, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you were looking into the pit, you did not see anything but darkness, and now as you're looking out, you don't see anything but darkness.
Well, I guess we're going to go forward.
Is there a dry piece of wood nearby at all?
There is not.
Are there any bodies or skeletons on the shore?
Mostly floating around in the water are a few bodies, and then there's what looks like people who might have survived the fall but broken something and crawled up the shore. They look pretty disgusting. All bones, though. No, like, flesh left on anything.
I'd like to count the skeletons.
Okay. 16.
Okay.
Not together, but based on your knowledge of that area, you can say there's probably about 16 people who have died specifically in this area.
So I'll take an equivalent amount of candles out. I have those.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stupid with candles.
Yeah.
I'll take them out and dry the wick off and light them
Okay.
along the shoreline. And I'll do one more and kind of put it aside for the lady.
That's very nice. You guys kind of see him do this in the general sense of just like, what the hell just happened sort of feeling.
Kavagal's going to look and try to see if he sees anything of interest, of note, of sign of somewhere to go.
So yeah, I mean, you sort of see like this natural like I said, it's really like natural cavern. I'm probably going to say that way too many times, but it sort of curves a little bit. And then as you're staring, you can sort of see this way to go off. Not until he lights it up and you get a little bit more illumination, but you can see there is sort of a path to your right.
I want to use thaumaturgy, and that allows me to make light brighter, like fire brighter. So I'm going to do that on the candles as well.
Okay, do you know what the normal range for a candle is? Is it 5 feet?
I think so, yeah.
So we'll say it brightens it to 15 feet. You think that'd be
cool.
fair?
That's fine.
You do that. So within that candle, what you're holding, right, is 15 foot of pretty solid light, and out of that is low light.
I'll probably light one and keep it in my hand.
Okay.
You know, just kind of hold it out, like palm up. Just kind of hold it in my hand, not really bothered by the wax or anything like that.
Okay.
So.
Something you're probably used to anyway, so you're not going to be too worried about it. Everyone go ahead and roll perception.
I was so nervous. That's a 7. Okay. I thought that was a 1.
16.
Even 10.
You guys are still kind of, you just lit that, and you're just finishing up with your candles and lighting the one for you, and you're still kind of like really dumbfounded of what's happening, plus the pain in your face. And now you got water in those cuts and bruises, and it kind of stings a little bit. It was not clean water by any means. You sort of hear something. You hear this creak kind of noise. It's definitely not a natural noise. It's an organic noise, if that makes sense. But you just sort of hear it come from that little opening. Well, I guess it's on the other side, the opening that I was talking about.
And I don't have any of my weapons other than the gauntlets.
Yep, just the gauntlets.
Okay.
I believe the only one with weapons is you.
He was the only one that saw that, though.
Yeah.
Or heard it,
Yeah,
rather.
you're the only one that knew that. And I'll just say for the sake, the lady didn't have anything on her. You both have those gauntlets. Do you have natural weapons?
I got my breath weapon, and depending on how we're going with it, the tail could be a weapon.
Okay. So I'm cool with that. I'm excited. I didn't even know you had a tail, and now you're like gonna probably smash stuff with it. I'm excited.
It's like Godzilla.
So yeah, so you kind of hear this, and it's sort of, you're a big tough guy, right? But you're in this cave after being plunged in here by this weird, creepy cult, and then you hear this creepy noise. So you're a little unnerved right now.
We're not alone. Something lurks.
I'd like to use Eyes of the Grave, which is just a passive ability. It's allows me to detect undead in a 60-foot radius.
Okay. No undead
No
that you
undead.
can detect, yeah. And not even like there's just no undead.
Well, they aren't zombies. That's good.
I guess we push forward.
So after some time of kind of just thinking, you hear this sort of like real quick pitter-patter. Around from this area comes these little things. I definitely never seen anything like them before. They look like little heads with feet, like legs. And they're sort of this reptilian insect cross. And they seem like they're kind of slimy, but they also have sort of a hard exoskeleton, but they also have some hairs. Really nasty, awful looking little creatures, and they're what's making this sort of like this kind of noise. I don't want to do it, it sounds ridiculous, but this sort of screech noise, and 3 of them come around the corner, and then they stop, like suddenly as soon as they get in.
They're not trying to make a pass or anything.
Nope, they just stop, like right at the entranceway.
Okay.
And you guys are silent right now.
So I'm going to kind of look at them, and then I'll like flinch at them, to see if they react.
They do not.
Okay.
Can I kick one?
You're not close enough. You'd have to walk up to it to go kick it.
Can I walk up to it and kick it?
Absolutely.
I would love to do that.
Okay, as soon...
Wait, hold on.
Well, I mean, are you going to tell him at a game? Or in-game, I mean?
No, I was going to give him something.
Well, you grab me by the shoulder, and what are you giving me?
I guess I could do that.
You go take a step, roll a sleight of hand.
Okay. 10?
Okay. You are able to stop him before he takes a step, making almost no noise.
I really like that system, by the way. So, my compliments to you on that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you my hand axe.
Okay. How small are these things? Can I catch them all 3 with 1 foot?
They are tiny, like smaller than the average house cat.
So can I just step on them?
You could try, yeah.
I'm not getting near them.
You know what? I have a breath weapon that has a cone on it. That's probably the better move. So I get close enough to breathe fire onto them.
You're going to have to move forward, and as soon as you do, it makes a noise, like, right, your foot
Yeah.
kind of you're big dragonborn, so your foot makes a noise, and then they instantly all look right at you. They're aware of your presence, and they're gonna, like, we're gonna engage in combat, essentially.
Fair enough.
Because you're kind of taking the initiative, you'll get to go first, and then we'll all roll initiative, if that's okay with everybody.
Yeah.
We'll say that the entrance, let's say the entrance where they came in is where my door is, right there.
Yeah.
Like, not the size-wise, but the layout-wise, and then the rest is sort of curved, and then the lake is back behind you, and we'll say it's sort of a 30-foot at its widest.
Okay. Well, I still want to use my breath weapon. They're all three near each other, right?
Yeah, they're pretty close. They're all looking, well, they're all facing you. They don't seem to have eyes.
Well, I'm going to see if I can make them crispy.
Okay. You do that, and they, like, when you take that step, they just sort of jump at you, and they sort of come at you really quick, all at once. And then you release this just cone of fire, which brightens up this whole area. And all three of them just almost eviscerated, like burnt to an absolute crisp.
Did I see anything when the area lit up?
Not really, because you're still facing sort of the wall, and the entrance, the pathway is sort of to the right. So you didn't see too much other than the cave,
Okay.
but they're dead.
Did anything catch?
It's really just stone, and it's pretty damp in there, so no. I would say nothing caught fire.
Okay, that's fair.
Let's say one thing you do notice, maybe, are bats. So when you do that, it does startle what seems to be just a really large amount of bats that are kind of above, not above the lake area, because that's where it's really high, but above this other area. You can see a bunch of bats sort of flying around, sort of startled them. They're not swooping down at you or anything, but enough to be noticeable.
Well, I did my part. Where are we going?
Lead the way, fireman.
Well, I guess I'm going to continue walking forward.
Okay. As you're walking, it's sort of a short distance, maybe 20 feet to another sort of bigger carved out area. And again, this is all natural. None of this is man-made or anything, so you're not really sure how this is formed, but it's just like a normal cave. And it opens up to this big area, and this is where you see just a ton more dead bodies. All bones. Everything's been like totally either decayed or picked clean, but it's just a lot of like clean bone all over the place, almost to where you can't really step anywhere without stepping on one.
Are we still in initiative? Like, are we still fighting? Or is it like we're good?
Oh, you're good. Those things are dead. There wasn't really wasn't combat. So
Just making sure.
I'd like to take the candle from my hand, take it off of my hand, and lay it down next to me.
okay.
Of
So
course, casting thaumaturgy again to bring the light. some
okay.
more.
It kind of like goes again, sort of twist and wind. You guys want to keep going?
Yep.
All right. So as you sort of keep going again, there's just these different sort of positions of these skeletons, and some are complete, and some are bits of bones and broken bones and things like that. Again, no flesh or anything, no real clothing, no real items whatsoever. It's really just these dirty old bones. I know I said clean. I guess clean is in there's nothing on them, but still old.
I'd like to think that I'm kind of experienced with the book by now, so I'm able to like hold it against my breast with one hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I'll open it and I'll start reading aloud a prayer of Kalimvor.
Okay.
I don't have one prepared, but just a loud like funeral prayer,
Okay.
just to kind of honor the dead.
Are you going to stop and do that, or do it while walking?
While walking.
While walking? Okay. Are you still leading and sort of going on your way?
I'm starting to think about how bloody I am, and I slow down a little bit.
Okay.
But, yeah, I still keep the lead.
Okay, so it definitely sort of takes this big kind of left curve, and it's getting pretty uncomfortable for you two to walk through because it's getting smaller, really smaller and smaller as you go. It's just sort of harder. You can't just walk comfortably. You're having to maneuver through little passages and things like that. Nothing too difficult, nothing that you're going to strain when you do, but it's just kind of annoying until it sort of straightens out a little bit and you get to this bigger area, and everyone roll perception, I suppose.
18.
19.
17.
17. All right, so you all notice that straight in front of you, kind of hugging the wall, and then out in front is more water. It's not super deep, and you can kind of see things floating in it, like I said, bones and things like that. And then you see 3 more of these little kind of monstrosity-looking things slowly walking about. And then as soon as you sort of step into this room, we'll call it this cavernous area, they stop immediately, and they don't move at all.
Well, the last ones got fried pretty quick. Do we want to try talking to these things, or seeing like what happens if you touch one?
Are you asking that to all of us?
Yeah. Well, To you two, yeah.
All right. Soon as you start talking, they look your direction and they just charge you. You specifically, because you're in front and you're the one talking. So, again, we're going to have them take their action, and then we'll roll initiative and engage in combat, but they're just going to, like, sprint right at you.
Okay, so they got surprise round.
Yeah. Okay, so one of them, like, goes at your foot, like, bites at it, and when it opens its mouth, you can tell it just has, like, these razor-sharp, nasty-looking teeth. Goes to bite your foot, and you kind of move out of the way, but another one jumps up at you and sort of latches onto your leg, and then the other one sort of bites the lower portion of that leg. So two of them have bitten you. You take 3 damage total, but they're sort of just, like, latched onto you, sort of biting and gnawing at your leg. So now we can roll initiative.
7.
10.
7.
You guys both got 7s. Well, usually when that happens, I just defer to you guys who you want to go first. But you got a 10, right?
Yes.
So you'll go ahead and go first, and then you, and then it'll be these little creatures' turn.
I'm going to... You said one of them latched onto...
Two of them. One of them jumped up and got, like, his high thigh, and then the other one stayed on the ground and bit his shin.
Okay, I'll go towards the one that's on his thigh.
Okay.
And I'll go for a swing with my bear claw gauntlets.
Okay. Roll to hit. Take advantage, because it's definitely gnawing into him. It's not really moving all that much. So go ahead and take advantage.
Total of 25.
All right. You absolutely hit it, yeah. So go ahead and roll for damage.
D4, because it's kind of like an improvised weapon.
Yeah, we'll do a D4.
7.
Oh, damn it. Okay, well, it's dead. You kind of just slash into it. Super surprised how soft it is. It looks like it has this really hard exoskeleton. You sort of just cut into it like soft butter, and you like shred it into pieces, and it just falls off of. It was the one on his shin, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just sort of...
No, on his thigh.
On his thigh. Yeah, I'm sorry. On his thigh. Sort of just falls off the thigh there.
Okay.
Now we'll leave it up to you.
Well, I guess I'm going to try and, almost like slide my other foot over top of my shin and, like, grind down my shin to try and see if I can just, like, stomp the thing to the ground.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's probably about my only method of removal.
I think so. I mean, you could try and just grab it off of you if you wanted.
I feel like that involves potentially getting bit on the hand.
Okay. If you want to try, so you're going to take your right leg and try and get it off.
Yeah, try to, like, kick it off or stomp it off.
Okay.
Hopefully kill it by stomping it.
Why don't you roll a strength check against its grapple that it had?
Ooh.
It's a nat 1.
Roll a dex. We're going to see if you lose your balance and fall or not.
14.
14. What's your dexterity, your character's dexterity?
15.
15. Okay, so you maintain your balance. You sort of, stumble a little bit. So when you do that, you have to roll lower than your dex to not fall over or something like that. That's kind of how we'll house roll it. Okay. You guys are cool with that?
That's kind of how Call of Cthulhu works.
Is it?
That's, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you don't do that. You just kind of lose your balance, and we'll say it's because the other one's sort of like gnashing at you still, too. It's now your turn.
Okay.
There's still the one on the ground that's sort of biting at him, and then there's still the one on his shin that's sort of like sinking its teeth deeper into him.
I'm going to use Toll the Dead on it for flavor. The sound of a dolorous bell fills the air. Then it has to take a wisdom save.
Okay. Let me roll it and then tell me what the DC is.
14.
It fails.
Okay. Has it already taken damage?
It has not. Neither of these. What, you're doing the one on his leg?
Yeah.
Yeah, and neither of them have taken damage, but...
Okay. That's a D8 necrotic.
Oh, damn.
That's 7 damage.
Oh, damn. Describe for me necrotic damage. Like, how's necrotic damage show up?
Necrotic damage, as I've always seen, has been like a withering.
Okay. That's kind of what I've always thought, too. It's kind of like a sped-up deterioration.
Decaying.
Yeah. That's exactly what happens to it. So it's like not gnashing into your shin, and then it just kind of like starts to deteriorate like rapidly, like something would when it dies. And then you sort of see it's like innards for a little bit, and then those deteriorate, and it just kind of is a pile of nasty mush on the ground.
And as my bonus action, I'm going to use Healing Word.
Okay.
Grif. I'm going to physically say, "It's not your time yet, get up." And that's a D4 plus my spellcasting ability.
That's cool. I like Healing Word a lot.
So that's 5.
5? Okay, you heal 5 damage. I like that you actually said what you said instead of saying I say Healing Word. All right, well, it is the one remaining little nasty little cat thing. it's just going to try and take another bite out of your foot there, which it fails in doing. So again, it just kind of like gnashes a little bit. Maybe it looks around, like in these last few seconds, there's been just a lot more noise, and it almost seems maybe a little confused. But it's still just, so instead of like actually trying to attack you, it looks like it's just biting randomly. So now it'll be back to your turn.
Okay. I'll go in for the last little guy.
Okay.
Does this one have advantage as well, or no?
No, you won't have advantage on this one.
Okay. That's 18.
18, you absolutely hit it. You still using your claws, just kind of...
Yeah.
Now it's on the ground, and you're like really tall. So are you going to just like go down and try and punch down right on it? Or are you... Okay, a little...
Kind of like a hammer fist right down on top of it.
There we go, right on.
Playing whack-a-mole.
Total of 5.
Okay, you just kind of... And we kind of talked about how it looks a little confused, and maybe it just stands there for a second, and you hammer fist right down on it, and it's just absolute mush. Like little nasty stuff like sticking to your hand, kind of like, ugh. But it's absolutely eviscerated.
Wipe it off on my fur, or whatever, the fur armor or something.
Yeah, just wipe it off on Grif, maybe. So that was it. There was only 3 of them in here that were alive. Now that you're looking around, you can see that there's actually maybe a few dead ones, like floating in the water a little bit. There's that little bit of water there, and then there's sort of a path, like where the path keeps on going a little bit. I will say, you do notice there's still like a ton of bats. Again, it's like a dark cave, so that's not anything out of the ordinary. There's just like, hey, there's a lot of bats in here, and with the commotion, they start flying around and stuff. No, like, dire bats or anything you're going to have to fight, unless you fight regular bats, but...
Oh, hey guys, that's a lot of bats.
Just breath weapon straight up, and then you get all that experience points.
That's true.
How much we talking?
0.25 per bat.
How many bats we talking?
I don't know, I'd roll for it. 100 maybe? I don't know.
I think we should continue down the path.
Yeah, let's just go on.
Our best bet is to try to find our way out of here.
You know what? I think I'm going to give both of you, like, candles to hold. I'll offer you, like, an item to put them on, because wax hurts, but you guys don't have to take an item with it if you want.
Will I still have any of my torches from my explorer's pack, or...?
So you literally have everything except your weapons.
Okay.
Except your, like, big weapons.
Now, will my torches be damaged from being in the water?
No, I don't think so. We'll just say they're really good torches, and you had them wrapped up decently well. Kind of like the same thing with your candles.
Okay. I'll just pull out one of my torches. I'm good.
I'll light it for you.
Oh, thank you.
He's going to be your friend whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So you guys kind of...
Not that I don't like your candles.
Who's in the lead? Who's going to be first? Because there really is enough room. It's like one single file.
Well, if I pull out a torch, I think I'd probably take the lead that way. Because the torches, I think, provide 30 feet of light.
I think so. It's like 25 or 30. I'm comfortable saying 30. So as you guys are walking, you notice the bats sort of disperse and there's not as many, and it gets sort of lower, and things are getting a lot wetter and a lot more moist, and then you eventually come to where there's water, and the only way to proceed is going to be to swim. There's probably maybe 3 feet from the water to the top of the cave.
Damn, there goes that torch.
I'm going to grab a stone and try and skip it on the water to see if anything in the water reacts to it.
Okay. I'm not going to be rolling anything. Let's just say you do that. It skips quite a bit. The cavern twists a little bit, and it skips until it hits the wall. You wait a couple seconds, nothing happens.
Okay.
Nothing too serious.
All right.
Well, I guess I'm ready to swim.
Yeah.
I guess that's our only option, isn't it?
All right, who's going first?
I'll go.
Wrap your torch up so it's not wasted.
You could try holding it up, maybe. I don't know, it'd be really close to your face.
I'll try holding it up.
Okay.
As far as
I can go first if you want. Or I guess you still have your torch lit, so...
You can go ahead and go first. I'll keep the torch up, and then you can try to use that light to see down into the water.
Sounds fine.
So go ahead and roll a swim, which I think is going to be your acrobatics, right? There's not an actual swim.
Athletics.
not.
Athletics.
A lot of the times people use acrobatics or athletics since they're two different skills.
Yeah. I'm still in like 3-5 mode for the skills, I guess. I'm sorry.
14.
Okay. It's not super easy. The water's pretty cold, but it's pretty dirty, too. And just with so little headroom, you're able to sort of like one-handed sort of swim, but stay afloat. So you're able to get out there. You guys kind of see him go off. And do you want to wait for them, or do you want to keep going?
I'll wait.
Okay. So he kind of gets halfway out there. We'll say till the wall, till it curves, and you can kind of see it like you can't really see a straight path where it's going.
Yeah.
So whoever wants to go next.
So I already rolled, but I'll roll again if you want.
Oh, did you roll? I'm so sorry.
It was a 13.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you kind of the same thing. Then we'll say you go in, sort of the same kind of thing. A little bit more comfortable to you because you're not so broad or so tall, so you're able to do like an actual swimming motion. And yeah, it's a piece of cake.
Cool.
Water's cold and dirty. That's about it.
Love that.
Then do you want me to roll at disadvantage since I have a torch in one hand?
So don't roll at disadvantage, but I'll tell you the DC is 11. If you beat the DC but by less than 2, we'll say the torch gets wet.
Okay.
If you do 14, it was at 2, so 13 or higher,
Okay.
you're good.
That's 17.
You're able to keep the torch up, and you kind of just point it forward and swim a little bit.
The torch is doing fantastic.
The torch is the real MVP.
It's a good torch. All right, so you guys just kind of keep. We'll just say for the sake of making things go a little faster, you just sort of swim, and it's a good while. It's like a good 50 or so feet of water. Maybe like 45. Just trying to follow my squares on my map. But you kind of get to where there's sort of like a flat surface, and you're going to have to like grab up and pull yourselves up. Not going to make you roll for it because you can take your time and do it, and it's not so tall that you guys couldn't grab it, but that's just how you're going to get up to the next level. And we'll say you go first, so once you get up, go ahead and roll like a perception to sort of look around.
That's a 4.
It's just pretty dark. You can't really see too much. You can tell that there's more water forward, though.
Great.
Okay, I'm next, I presume.
Mhm.
16.
Yep. So you kind of get up there, and you're just more acclimated, I guess, to see it in the dark, maybe, or you weren't bludgeoned in the face a few hours ago.
That's true.
So you see immediately there's probably 10 feet, and then straight back down into some water. The only thing is you're not sure if there's that same headroom as before. You're not sure if you'd have to be totally submerged.
Okay.
At least from like your first impressions of jumping up and stuff.
Okay.
So it's on you. If you want to,
Oh.
you pull yourself up there. We'll say you kind of toss the torch up and then pull yourself up. Torch stays lit. Once he gets up there with the torch, you can all kind of see pretty easily. It's about 10 feet where you can progress forward, and then there's a hole, and there's water down in there, and you just can't really tell if there's that headroom or not. So you're not sure if you're going to have to fully submerge yourselves to move forward.
More of the same, I think.
Still gotta go. I mean, we don't have any other options, I don't think.
Okay, should I douse the torch and then wrap it up, or...
It's up to you.
I mean, we could always have one of us go down first, and then that way we know how deep it is.
Sure, let's do that.
So, I mean, I'll go
You
first.
want to go down first?
Or do you want to throw your rock and see what happens?
You really can't, because it's sort of like, like in the last area, it was sort of like here's the ceiling, and then there's this hole here where you pulled yourselves up. It's kind of the opposite of that. So it's really just a hole in the ground that you can see water in, and you can tell that you can move forward once you're in the
Can
water.
you drop a rock down the hole to see what happens?
I don't want to close it off.
Well, I mean, like, if you just toss a pebble down into the water, it should be okay.
It's pretty tight, but yeah, I mean, like, you guys are all going to be able to fit down there. Like, your shoulders are going to rub against the ground and stuff, but...
Well,
or
then
the
I'll
ground
just go.
besides.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and hop on in.
I'll hold the torch over just for sight clarity,
Okay, so you get down there, and at first you're like fully submerged, but you move forward maybe 5-10 feet, and you're able to pop your head up a little bit. And there's even less. I mean, you're talking maybe 2 feet of clearance, if that, to where you can just barely, if you tilt your head back, keep it above the water. And you can kind of actually roll perception.
19.
So you can see that it moves forward a little bit, but you can tell based on just how the rocks are sort of formed on the ceiling that after about another 15 feet, you're going to have to submerge yourself again to move forward. You just don't know for how long.
Okay. I guess you would have seen me go into the hole and seen I went under, so you would know to put your torch out and I don't have to say nothing.
Yeah, we'll say both you guys saw him have to like go underneath to go.
Okay.
I want to go next because I'm smaller than him, and I don't want him to get stuck and then be stuck here. So, and I'll relay that to you.
Such sound reasoning. I love it.
Do you want me to just go, or
Yeah, just go and
okay?
again, I'm going to keep your same swim DCs that you rolled before until you have to like fully submerge yourselves.
Okay.
So we'll say you kind of get to the same area he's in now, where your heads are a little bit above water, and you see the same thing. You're going to have to dive and swim underwater for a little bit.
Okay.
So you kind of see them both sort of go.
And do the same thing.
Okay, are you going to try? Are you putting your torch out, or are you going to keep it lit?
I'm going to put the torch out.
Okay. Well, just kind of fast forward a little bit, so you're all in that same area. If you want to talk a little bit, you can. It's very uncomfortable, very cramped where you're at, but you're going to have to just submerge and try and swim through.
I'm the smallest. I'll go first because, again, I don't want to get stuck in here. You guys are more liable to get stuck, I'm sorry. But
Can you get around me?
sure we can kind of jimmy our way around.
Yeah, I'll say you can't for now. There's enough room. Again, very uncomfortable, but you can squeeze around him.
Here I go.
Okay, roll. So roll your, like I said, athletics or acrobatics. I'll leave it to you guys.
20. 20.
Okay, so yeah, you kind of go submerge, and again, the water's really dirty, so you can't really see much. I mean, you swim forward a little bit, we'll say a good 20 or so feet, and then the ground just starts getting closer and closer to you until you have to come up, and this is sort of like a natural incline up into dry land, so to speak.
Okay. Any light at all?
No light. It's a lot darker here now than anywhere else.
Okay. You want me to roll perception or no?
Yeah, if you'd like to. Absolutely.
23.
Nice. So you kind of get up and walk forward a little bit, and immediately to your right, there's more water, right? And it's you're going to have to dive in and submerge to go that way again. But there's also another little cavern around the way, and you can kind of hear something coming from that direction. You can't really make it out. It's just sort of like cave noises, I guess.
So I don't want to, like, hog the time or anything, but am I able to, like, roll a hide?
Roll a hide? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. 11.
Okay. I mean, you think you're hidden pretty well.
Cool.
All right, what do you guys think? You kind of see him go, and you don't really hear from him for a minute or so. And
I mean, I'm going to try and catch up with him.
okay, go ahead and roll another, your swim, your acrobatics, or your...
21.
Okay, yeah, you kind of get through it without ease. You submerge yourself a little bit, but same case, eventually you get to where the ground below you gets higher, and then you just sort of have this natural walk or crawl out of the water onto some dry land. And it's pretty dark in there. You can't really see much.
I guess I'm going to wait and see what's going on over there.
Roll a perception.
Roll a perception.
Yeah.
Nat 20.
Wow.
Nat 20. So you do see Barlowe just like hunched down real close to the side of the wall, and you're just kind of like, what the hell's he doing? And then the same thing I described, you can sort of see the water going off to the right, and to the left you can see, or you can sort of see the cavern going forward, and you can hear bats. Like, you absolutely recognize the sound that you heard before, bats, but it sounds like a whole shitload of them.
Make a shushing gesture at Grif.
Guess I'm just going to hop in the water on the far side as quietly as I can.
Okay. So you're going to get back into the other, like, not where you came from, but the water to your right there?
Correct.
Okay. Right. You want to go ahead and roll your,
Yeah.
I mean, I hope you don't drown. I didn't want anybody to drown.
24.
Okay. Yeah, same sort of deal what I've been saying. You sort of, you guys actually did better at being fully submerged than you did at the part where you were above water a little bit, so.
I just like to think that being so big, I can't tread water very easily.
Yeah, but when you're in water, man, you move like, whatever that famous swimmer's name is.
Aquaman.
Aquaman, that's who I was thinking of. So yeah, you kind of get there in this natural incline up. Go ahead and roll a perception.
Nat 20.
Okay, so you see Barlowe sort of hunched down against the wall, and you're just like, why is he like that? And then you see Grif standing in the water that is a little bit ahead. And then to your left, you sort of see this twisting cavern, and you absolutely recognize the sound of bats, a whole lot of bats coming from that area.
And I'll, again, make the
Shushing.
gesture at
Like finger over the mouth gesture.
Kavagal will probably take that and get more on his toes, so he's a little more sneaky, I guess.
Okay.
You want me to roll for a sneak?
Yeah,
or stealth?
absolutely. And we'll just have it float through the...
Oh, gosh. 4.
Okay. You think you're being pretty sneaky. You guys can tell that he's not. All right, so what direction you guys want to go? I mean, you're in the water already, so...
I want to make my way over to the water with, I'm not necessarily being super stealthy, but I'm trying to, like, keep my sound down.
Yeah.
I'm going to head over to the water and wait for Kavagal to join.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll come up alongside and gesture to both of them, like, go ahead, kind of like I'm starting to take the rear, make sure nothing happens to either of them.
So are you guys wanting to just go the way the water is to where you're going to submerge again and come out the other side?
I kind of want to see what's in the cavern, so I'm going to, like, whisper to Kavagal. I'd like to see if the sound that I can make will draw anything out before we go, because there might be something down there, I don't know.
Okay.
So are you going to you said you're going to go down that cavern a little bit, or?
No, I'm going to stay in the water, and 30 feet out to the right, if that's able, or as far as I can go, I'm going to make a very loud boom sound with thaumaturgy.
Okay. Okay, yeah, you make that loud boom sound, and now I think the sound of the bats gets a lot louder, but that's really it. Nothing really happens from there. Because it's just the sound, right? It's not going to invoke any sort of movement or anything like that.
Right, okay.
Okay, yeah, nothing really happens. Like I said, maybe startles those bats and they get a lot louder. We'll see, now you sort of recognize what that sound is.
Okay.
Kavagal will kind of, whisper to the others with the little bit of knowledge he does have. He does kind of know that bats can't swim, so they have to have a way out, to go find food or something. So I suggest we go down the way with the bats.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds smart. That's practical knowledge, which I do not have. So.
I don't even have that knowledge in real life.
Well, I mean, it sounds like we're going to go that direction. I'll get out of the water and follow y'all.
All right.
Okay. So you guys go the other direction, and it will speed things up a little bit. You sort of come into this big, bean sort of shaped room, and it's still pretty dark in there. But you can see, I'm not going to make a roll perception because of how dark it is. You notice this little bit of light coming from what looks like a hole kind of on the ground, sort of the northeast of the room.
Okay.
And you can tell that's where the sound's coming from also.
I'll kind of take a lead and kind of peek into the hole.
It's pretty. It's about this wide, maybe. You can tell you definitely couldn't fit through it, but go ahead and roll perception.
How big a wide is it?
It's probably 2.5, maybe 3 feet wide. However, I don't know.
That's probably about 2 feet.
Yeah, about 2 feet.
16.
So you kind of peek through. The first thing you notice is those things that have attacked you that you fought, and you see several of them in there, dead on the ground. And you can sort of see this big pillar in the middle of the room, a natural sort of pillar, like a stone. What are those called? The stone things that come out of the ground in caves. Stalagmite,
Stalagmite, something like that.
One of those. Yeah, one of those kind of coming, but real thick and real big. And there's something hanging from it, something not natural, right? You're seeing all this natural cavernous area, but there's some sort of something hanging halfway down it. You can't really make out much more than that. But you see a lot of those other things kind of dead or either laying around. You're making this all out because there's a little bit of light coming from the bottom of that. I keep wanting to say obelisk, but that's not what it is. It's just this natural pillar.
Column?
This natural column coming out of the ground.
And then do I see any way that kind of leads into that other than this hole?
No, not from how you're looking.
Okay. I'll tell you guys that there's something I'm not sure quite what it is, but it's not a bat and it's not quite natural, but it's hanging from this column.
Does it look like a creature?
I couldn't
I had to
quite tell.
describe it. It looks like fabric or something.
Dips.
The loot troll.
I'll do what you guys want to do, but I'm not going to lead that charge.
And that's all I can, that's all that's in this.
Yep, that's it. It's other than that, it's totally. I mean, other than kind of what we've been talking about, maybe the occasional bones and stuff like that. Not as many in this area. Mostly in the water before this was the last ones you saw, and then just sort of the dirty cavernous area.
Well, then I think we should go back towards the tunnel of water and see where that leads us, because this isn't taking us anywhere.
Okay.
I'll just say this with your perception tech. You're pretty sure you two couldn't fit through that hole, but he might be able to.
No.
He has spoken.
We can pick him up. Push him through. Roll for strength. Come on.
Give him a little push now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you guys want to head back to where the water, the water area you haven't explored yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. Before we do that, I want to make another sound.
Okay.
I want to peek down and make another sound in the room.
In the room there?
Yeah.
Okay. Same kind of just a loud booming noise?
I want to make it sound like somebody saying hello. Hello?
Okay. So you say that, and then roll perception. We'll say you're bending down, looking through the hole.
Okay. 6.
You don't really see anything different other than let's say you say hello, and then whatever it is hanging from that, which we'll say you saw because he pointed it out, it moves just a little. Tiniest little bit of movement.
It moved.
Can I take a peek?
If you want to, yeah.
11.
Kind of the same thing you saw before. Nothing's really changed. You didn't really see it move, like he said, but...
All right. Well, you did your parlor trick. Let's go down to the water.
That was very hurtful.
I wasn't trying to be hurtful.
No, it's fine. Let's just go.
I can't do that. So it's your parlor trick.
I get it. I'm just the magician. Hey, let's go.
I thought it was nifty.
That's great. So I'll just kind of like almost in a huff turn around and go back toward the water.
Okay.
Wet, upset, just wanting to go home.
Trying to help these strangers who are insulting your craft. I get it.
I wasn't an insult. I said nifty.
You guys want to just, like, swim into that water? You kind of want to agree? Who's going to go first? Like, just give me an order. Okay. Go ahead and roll. Who's going to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay. So all three of you guys roll, and we'll just kind of role play what happens through it instead of doing it one at a time. I feel like that's a little on the slower side.
21.
22.
23.
That's fantastic. Yeah, you guys all kind of get through. You first, you come in, you have to submerge yourself totally, and this is the deepest you've ever had. Like, you actually have to physically swim down into the water, which you haven't had to do yet, but eventually it sort of loops back up, and you go up, and you emerge in this big sort of watery area, and you can see there's sort of a light kind of from up above. You can't really tell where it's coming from, kind of shining down on this sort of just really small piece of land that's up there, and you can see a few things up there, but nothing specifically.
Okay.
So you can swim to it, or you can wait until these guys come.
I'll wait.
Okay, so we'll just say all of you guys come up and see that now.
You want to do your thaumaturgy thing where you make someone say hello in the distance so we know what's maybe in here?
Your parlor trick.
Yeah, you're...
How far away is the ridge area?
Like 20 feet.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll do another generic like hello.
Okay. You wait a little bit and nothing happens.
Okay.
I guess we climb out then, huh?
Onward and upward.
It's just kind of this natural incline. You don't have to climb up or anything. And you're in, like, it's not a very big area. It's probably 15 foot deep and then maybe 20 foot wide of just this cavernous area, and it's all cave wall behind there, so it's sort of a dead end right here. But roll perceptions for everybody.
That's a now one.
9.
5.
Okay, so you see something, there's these things all over the ground. That's really all you can tell. There's like just stuff all over the ground, but it seems organic. It's not like rocks or stones or mud or anything. There's just bits of things literally all over the place. In like the wall in the middle, there's like a big stick with this skeleton sort of hanging from it that still has some clothing on.
Anything specific happen to me because I got the critical fail or no?
No, not for like the perception or anything. No, with stuff like that, the natural ones usually is when you're trying to do something like delicate or something like that. But if you're just looking around, it just means you're not really paying attention.
Okay.
You still probably kind of offended at him calling your craft a parlor trick.
Why would he do that, man?
I don't know. He's just...
His intelligence is not there, so he doesn't understand.
I just gotta remember he's not as sophisticated as me. He's didn't
Oh.
mean anything by it.
Absolutely.
I'd like to light another torch.
Okay. All right, cool. So since the torch is lit, you take a little bit to light it. The first thing you notice is that stick with the thing on the wall. It's a body, like it's a skeleton, and it still has like its clothes on, and something's impaling it to the back of the wall. It's sticking out from it about 3 feet, maybe 3.5, impaling it to the wall, and it's just kind of hanging there. And then all over the ground, you can tell that there's like these really hard pieces of things. Like you can tell it's hard, and like if you step on them, they sort of break and crumble and crack.
Which way is it impaling?
It's impaling him into the wall.
Okay.
It's not like a spike coming out of the wall. It's something that went in, like through him into the wall.
And looking behind me, do I see anything that would have originated from?
Not at all. It looks like a bone. That's pretty much all you can gather. It looks like a really weird symmetrical bone. I guess I think all bones are symmetrical, but you know what I mean. It looks like a bone, except it looks almost too perfect to not be handmade.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a rock and kind of throw it into the area and see if anything happens.
Okay. No, I mean you just kind of throw the rock like at the thing that's impaled, or at the stuff on the ground, or because you're kind of more standing in the midst of everything.
I'm just gonna throw it up and see where it lands.
Okay. No, I mean you throw it up and you throw it like hard enough to where it's going to hit the wall a little bit and just kind of fall down.
Okay.
It makes like a little, cracking noise as it falls. That's all.
Don't know where to go from here.
No bats in here. Also.
Well, I guess we should go walk up and go see what, get a closer look at the impaled object.
Do you think that's a smart idea?
I think it's an idea.
Okay.
You gonna go investigate the?
Sure, I'll go walk right up.
Well, I don't know what the gender of or even the race of what it is, but we'll just call it like the impaled man, I guess.
All right.
Go ahead and roll a Would it be a perception to, like, search and...
Investigation.
Investigation. See, I'm used to search and...
Yeah.
God, 3-5.
Nat 20.
Nat 20? The first thing you notice is the thing that impaled him is, in fact, a bone. Like, you can just tell, like, this is some sort of bone that has been fashioned really well into a weapon that was jammed into this person. That's what killed him, and it's stuck into the wall, and they're still impaled into the wall. They don't have anything of value on them, except you pull out a little bag, like this little sort of sack, and in it is... Hold on. In that little sack is 10 gold pieces and 4 dice.
I don't know much about dice. Is that something of value, or?
Well, I mean, you've played like games and stuff before. You've seen dice. These just seem weird.
Okay.
I mean, they look like normal. They actually look like crappy dice, but there's something about them that just seems odd to you because you got a nat 20. Like, you're like, hey, something's off with these.
Do I see anything like else? Like, do I see something that's going to impale me to the wall?
No, you just see this sort of thing that's like stuck into the wall.
All right.
Looks like it could be pretty sharp.
Can I take it out?
You can try, yeah. Roll a strength check if you want to try and take it out.
16 plus 4, so 20.
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of got to brace yourself and put your foot on the wall. But yeah, you pull it out of there. It's like this sort of it's real thin. Like it's maybe like that, like a dowel rod almost, but it starts wide and then goes into a really sharp point, and it's still extremely sharp. Basically, it's called a bone blade, and it's going to function like a rapier.
Cool. I will add that to my inventory.
There's even looks like a little handle, but again, almost too perfect to be organic, but still looking like it wasn't fashioned by hand.
I'll walk over to the skeleton, and I'm going to kind of put a stick of incense in, like, it's all bone, correct?
Yes. Well, bone, and then it has like fat, like it still has its clothes on, which is unique because you haven't seen anything like that yet.
So I'll put the incense stick on one of the bones, like sort of in the pelvic area, and I'll light it.
Okay.
And then I'll step back and kind of like go back to where I was.
You still have the torch, right? Mm-hmm. So roll a perception.
16.
You're kind of watching them do that, and you're still standing back a little bit, but you see all the way back against the wall of the cave is where this thing, and he's pulling this bone blade out and looking at it. He's putting this incense thing in there. You can see something creeping up the side, like it came out of the water a little bit, and it's slowly trying to be sneaky to sneak up on Grif.
I'm going to chuck the torch at it and just yell at them, like, hey.
Go ahead and, I guess, roll to hit with the improvised good torch.
That'd be... Add dex, I guess, for this, because it's a throw.
Yes.
That'd be 19.
Yeah, you hit it, so roll a d6, because it's a really good torch.
Okay.
Don't add... you won't add anything to it, though.
Okay.
Since it's ranged.
Just 4.
Okay. It almost doesn't phase it that much. Like, you hit it, and it just, like, it's like it doesn't even notice that you hit it with this torch, and it's still sort of creeping up
Does
at
it
Grif.
get caught on fire? Okay.
Nope.
So, again, I have the passive ability to sense undead. Is it undead at all?
No undead. Yep.
Cool. So, we see it, because he called for it.
He yells at it, and Grif, you turn around, and it's probably maybe 15 feet from you, and it's, like, real low to the ground. And it's like one of the things you've seen before, but it's a little bit bigger. It's not just like a head and feet. Now it's like a head with little legs and feet, and then a little bit of a tail. And it's making this like real low sort of guttural noise. Ever since he hit it with the torch, it's sort of like now it knows that it's aware, but it's still creeping up at you.
Can I attack it?
We can engage. Since he's in front of it, we'll have to roll initiative if you guys want to engage in combat with it.
What's the rule of my breath weapon? Can I use it again?
I think it's once per long rest.
I think that's the
Okay,
case,
so I can't use it again. I really want to set this thing on fire, guys. I do have a piercing thing, so I would like to walk up within 5 feet of it and attempt to use this bone blade on it.
Let's roll initiative, since everyone has kind of seen it by now. I was going to let you, if you could use your breath weapon, I'd let you do that quicker, but let's just go ahead and roll into an initiative to do a combat scenario.
15 for me.
7 for me.
11.
Okay, so you actually will get to go first.
All right.
And you can see it perfectly clearly because the torch didn't go out, because it's a really good torch and it's just sitting there.
So yeah, I'll use Toll the Dead on it, so the sound of the bell rings again. It's going to make a wisdom save.
It failed.
Okay. So, did it take damage?
Yeah.
Take damage from his thing? You think so, yeah.
This is kind of one of the things where I need to know.
Oh, you need to know that it took damage? Yes, it took damage.
Okay, so that's a D12 instead of a D8.
Oh, if it recently took damage, it's higher?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's a D12 plus...
Well, just a minute. It had fire resistance.
Oh, okay.
So that's why the fire didn't really do much to it.
Okay. That was 5. Did 5 damage.
Again, like, it really doesn't seem to affect it as much as you would. Like, the last one just melted into death, and this one just seems sort of not phased, and it's still focused on coming at Grif.
Okay.
So now it's its turn. It's going to come up to you and try and take a little bite at you. It has, like, a longer snout than the other ones, but it's still this, like, weird insect hybrid with hair. This one doesn't look slimy, though, like the other ones did.
Does my AC help at all during this kind of thing, or?
Yeah, so basically to hit you, I have to roll to hit your AC, which is 19, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got to be higher than your AC.
Those little things earlier did over 19.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, sometimes they don't even have to hit over. They can just get exactly and do half damage.
You also crit failed, though.
It does. It, like, lunges up at you and sort of bites you right here on the chest. Takes 7 damage. Huge, like, big old force. I rolled a nat 20. It was a critical also, so it did quite a bit of damage there.
Yes, it did.
Did you roll damage twice?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Super nasty. Like, this thing smells terrible, looks terrible. Still doesn't have eyes, you don't think, but it saw you somehow. So now it'll be your turn, actually, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna try and get this thing with the bone weapon.
It's really close to you, though, so do you think you should take disadvantage? What do you guys think? Because it's on him, latched onto him.
Did it grapple him?
Mm-hmm.
How big is it?
It's like I said, it's technically it's small.
Can I grapple it and then just like put my longsword into it? Like,
Checking.
I don't know, because if one hand's holding the sword, if one hand's holding the bone blade, if you're going to attack it, I'll say you're going to take disadvantage.
That's fine.
I don't want you to, I'm not going to say you're going to, like, stab yourself or anything, because we'll say you go like this, but it's just real awkward to do.
Can I throw it off of me?
Yeah, if you want to roll...
disadvantage?
Nope, if you want to roll... I won't even make you roll a grapple check, because it's so easy to grab a hold of. Yeah. If you want to roll a strength check to pull it off, I'll let you pull it off and throw it in the same turn, if you succeed. Your strength just has to beat his grapple check that he rolled earlier.
Okay.
So what, it's the size of like a small dog or a large, medium dog?
Like a medium dog, like a real big corgi.
Okay. So really just a really gross corgi.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a 7. Because, it was a 19, and then, like, I don't know, long story short, it was 19 and then fell over.
I'm sorry. So it's a 7. You kind of try, but it's really latched in. Like, this thing has longer teeth than the little ones. So it's really latched into you, and you just cannot pull it off of you.
I just want to say, as like not necessarily as a character, but as a player, don't forget your bonus actions. I don't know if you have any at this point, but like...
I don't think so.
You can do your second wind as a bonus action.
Oh, I do have a... I was looking for second wind in my notes. I did not notate it that way. I just put heal 110 die plus level. Or die 10. I guess I will go ahead and use that because I have 2 health, so...
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
I try really hard not to keep track of the player's health. That way I don't, like, stop myself from you guys dying. That makes sense.
Well, I like that.
Try to keep it more organic that way.
Stop saying my health.
Yeah.
7.
Okay, so yeah, you heal 7 damage. Just say you just try and pull it off, and you don't, and you just get this, like, rush of adrenaline of just being super pissed off at how your day has gone so far.
Fair enough.
I got thrown down a hole. I'm being bitten by a gross corgi.
Yeah.
Gross corgi.
So I believe this would be Kavagal's turn now, right?
Yeah, run up to it, and, I guess it's the only weapon I got, so I'll, go for some fisticuffs with it.
He's going to punch Grif right in the chest. No, go ahead.
Okay. 17 to hit.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
I will say it was just barely, not because it's, like, quick right now, but its skin is a lot harder than the other ones were.
And that's a total of 6 damage. And then I'll use my bonus action to try to hit again. Doesn't get any bonuses.
Okay.
And that's not going to hit. It's a 4.
Okay, that second one does not hit. So you hit it that first time, and you just kind of, say you swipe it a little bit. You cut it a little bit, but again, its skin is really hard. Like I said, it has this weird sort of exoskeleton on it. So, all right, that would put it back at Barlowe.
Okay. Exoskeleton. Okay. So how far away am I from both of these two?
You're probably, because you were around the same thing, you're within 5 feet of Grif.
Okay.
And now I guess 5 feet with Kavagal also.
Okay.
You're kind of blocked from, like, you can't really see the thing as well, because it's on Grif's chest.
So are Grif and I flanking it then, technically?
I think in normal circumstances, yes, but because it technically has him grappled,
I see, yeah.
maybe not, because it's so small, too. I don't know.
I want to kind of run up to it and club it with my mace.
Okay.
That would be 11.
You do hit it, but not hard enough to do damage. Again, its exoskeleton is just really thick, and it almost seems like it might have gotten harder just since he hit it.
Okay.
If that kind of makes sense.
So is it a problem if we know each other's health points?
The players?
Yeah.
I don't care if you guys know each other's health points at all.
Okay. Some people that I've played with before are like, no, that's meta. You can't know each other's HP.
No, if you guys want to share your health points, I think that's fine because low health points, shows itself up by you can tell when someone's about to die in real life, right? If they're getting lethargic, if they're bleeding a lot, it's technically meta, but you're gonna notice it in game if someone's about to keel over.
That's exactly how
I'm
I
totally
think.
fine with it. Now I'll never tell you HP of monsters or things you fight at
That's
all.
fine. Okay. I guess I'll is disengage a bonus action? Mm-hmm. Then I'll disengage.
Okay. Now it is this thing's turn, and it's gonna let go of your chest and try to take a bite at your face, but it's still kind of on you with its feet.
So, like, kick off my chest type thing at my face.
Sort of, yeah. Like,
Okay.
It's on your chest right now. It's going to kind of jump its way up to snap at your face. So,
Gotcha.
if it hits, it's going to keep its grapple, but if it misses, it's going to fall.
That makes sense.
I've never heard of this monster. I'm really interested to know what it is.
It misses, so it goes to jump at your face, and you kind of dodge out of the way. And we're going to say it kind of tumbles over your shoulder. So, it's now behind you, sort of, maybe to your side, and you have a clearer view of it now as well. This will be your turn, and if you do any sort of anything to it, you'll get advantage because it's like it didn't land on its feet.
So I should, if I want to attack it, I get advantage?
Yep.
It's not directly near me, correct?
No, you disengaged, so we'll say you took a couple of steps back.
Okay.
Even so, like it's still not gonna pay. It's like specifically after him. It seems you can kind of tell that.
I was just going to see if it was a suspect to a attack of opportunity, but
No, nothing like that.
okay.
I guess I'm going to use the bone blade I have in my
Okay.
hand, and I'm going to see about, with advantage, attacking it.
Okay.
23?
Yeah, you absolutely. So go ahead and roll for. You just kind of jab it. We'll say right through its underbelly since it's laying on its side, which its underbelly is still kind of hard.
So I roll a d8 for that. Let's see, yep.
That's
So
a
7 plus 4, so 11.
You absolutely just sort of impale it into the ground, and it kicks around just a little bit, and then it like slowly dies,
Okay,
or at least it stops moving. But I mean, it's dead. You killed it.
cool.
Okay.
Can we gut it?
If you want to, yeah. You
I
can.
feel like that stuff being
No, don't do that. That's not okay. Don't do that.
but I mean, it might be good material to make armor out of.
It's honestly, it's not big enough
All right.
to make armor. It would need to be twice your size to be able to get like hide to make armor from it.
Is it an animal or like is it a creature that somebody would hunt, do you think?
No.
No. Okay.
So
no.
to give it like a classification, it's an aberration,
Okay.
aberration, or however you want to say it.
We respect the dead in my house.
Okay. I would like to, while he's having that discussion with Grif, go up and investigate it.
Okay.
Nat 20.
So you can absolutely see like everything there is to see about it. It is this weird sort of insect lizard hybrid. Like it's a reptile and an insect at the same time, and yet it still has these little hairs. It's just really weird looking. You've never seen anything like it, and your first thought is this is not natural. And I'll even get, since you rolled a nat 20, I'll give you, as you're investigating it, all those little shards of broken things you kind of pick up and you can kind of piece them together a little bit. They're eggs. And again, they're not natural. They're like really dark and they're black and not like an egg you've ever seen before. That's really the best description I give. Its hide is still hard, and as you're touching it, you can feel it still getting harder and harder. Really weird. Its organs don't look like any organs you've seen. You don't recognize a heart. You don't recognize lungs, kidney. You don't recognize anything like that. Its organs are so foreign and just so different than anything you've ever seen before.
I would like to, though, now that I know that those are eggs, I want to go and smash them.
Oh, they're already broken.
Oh, they're already
So, yeah, they're all, like I said, you kind of
Oh.
pick up bigger chunks and put them together and can tell that
I
they were eggs. I'm sorry if I wasn't clear on that. And you kind of can surmise, too, like the littler ones are more recently hatched.
Okay.
Again, just giving you more info since you rolled Nats 20. That's like all kind of coming to you.
Okay.
The littler ones were more just recently hatched. This one has been hatched for longer than those other ones. That's why it's substantially bigger, and that's why its armor is a little bit better, and that's why it had a little bit more resistance to the fire and the necrotic damage than the other ones did.
I want to go over to it and read like a very brief funeral rite from memory. like something you'd give like a pet or something. Like not something befitting of like humans and stuff, but like something that like feel peace.
Okay.
You know, like
No, I totally get that. Kind of talked before about how death is like a really natural part of life, and I will say that this one specifically just feels so unnatural to you.
okay.
That really doesn't change how you feel about it as a character, as a person, but just like the death of this doesn't make you uncomfortable, but maybe the existence of this makes you uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it still lived and
Yep,
is
still
now
lived
dead.
and still died. So right on. That's really it, and I'll say there's really nothing more in this area at all. You got the dice and the gold and the bone blade from the impaled man, and you didn't really get sneak attacked like I hoped by this thing.
I'm happy about that. Do we know off his nat 20? Do we know like why it was going after me? Like, do we have any idea or perception of like why it picked me and why I was supposed to die?
You can just guess that maybe this was a sort of lair for it. And maybe, like with all these eggs, maybe it was trying to take care of things and you were encroaching on its territory, and then you're just the first one it saw, so it was going at you.
Oh, okay.
So before we go back, I'm actually proficient in medicine and medical stuff. I kind of want to like assess your guys' situation to make sure we're not pressing ourselves too hard.
Okay.
You want me to roll for that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know, because you can take your time and do it, so I'm not going to make you roll for it since you're proficient in that stuff. I will say, from your guys' point of view, someone knowing anything medicinal is pretty spectacular, honestly. Like, medicine is one of those things that's not shared. It's not something people teach, because doctors now make a lot of money because no one knows how to do it, to the point where, like, the only hospitals you heard of are in the capital city where the king lives.
It sounds familiar.
Well, through investigating Kavagal, you'll find that he's beaten up, but he's considering where he's usually at. He's only at about half what he's normally at.
How's that rib, friend?
It's tender, but
I will say it is broken. Like, you can tell. If he lets you touch it, I'll say, you can tell it's broken.
yeah.
Like, there's just a rib just hanging out.
I don't have any way to set that for you, but we've got to get that taken care of quickly.
I'll be okay, I promise.
Okay.
That you could hear kind of like a overcompensating in his kind of tone.
If you need me, I'm here. So how you feeling, Grif?
I've had better days, I've had worse, but I'm alive.
I think that's just a mood for all of us. I'm wet. I just almost watched my friend die. I had to kill something. This sucks. I hate today. I want to go home. Anyway, sorry. I'm fine. I'm fine. Let's go.
All right, so what do you guys want to do? If you want to head back, I'm not going to make you re-roll to, like, submerge and swim back.
I think heading back, trying to find the next
So,
path.
yeah, like, the only lead you guys have is that small hole that you saw.
Okay.
That human-ish sized hole. If you guys want to make your way back there, if one person wants to do, like, another perception through it to see if anything's changed, you're more than welcome to.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Okay.
I know you don't exactly like the idea of going through that small hole, but we've got this issue that Grif
I'll
and
do it
I-
on one condition.
Okay.
You grab my legs, and if I tell you to pull, you do so.
You don't have to ask me twice.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to make that perception roll.
Yep, go ahead.
8.
So everything looks the same, except there seem to be more of those little, like, nasty aberrations, whatever. Seems to be more of them in there dead. Like, more than there were, let's say, 45 minutes ago when you guys were in here.
Can I investigate to see how? If I get close to one?
Well, you're still, like, just peeking through the hole. Do you want to crawl through?
Oh, shit. Okay, I thought you... we're at the hole. I thought we meant, like, the
Oh, no, I'm
cavern
sorry.
area.
I just kind of sped us up back through the
Okay.
water and everything.
Yeah, so which of you is stronger?
Not to brag, but I'm sitting over here at a whopping 18.
Which of you has faster reflexes?
So we both are at 18, and Dex is 15.
Guess who
better
gets to hold
in
my
every way.
legs?
I think me.
Who can run faster?
So yeah, I'll crawl under as you know, as long as I feel his fucking hands on my like legs, I'll go.
Okay, go ahead and roll another perception. I'll say something you definitely notice anyways is how small this, like, area of the cave is, the wall here. It's only about 1, maybe 2 inches thick, and that's it. But yeah, go ahead and roll another perception.
15.
Cool. So let's just say you take a general look around. Maybe you push yourself up on your hands to get a better view of things. You immediately notice tons of these dead little creatures, maybe 15 or 20 or so, just all over the place, scattered everywhere in this big, large area. And they all have one or two small little bolts sticking out of them.
Bolts?
Yeah, bolts, like crossbow bolts. And then you notice the lantern that's just sitting on the ground at the base of this pillar that's in the center of the room. And it's next to what looks like just a large duffel bag. Both the lantern and the bag are sitting in a small pool of blood. And you can see that the blood is actually running down from the pillar. And you follow the trail up to what you thought earlier was just some kind of fabric or something. Only now you notice that it's a person hanging there. One of their legs is trapped and being crushed by this large rock, and they're hanging upside down, and though they seem to be unconscious, they are definitely still alive. And I think that's where we're going to end things for tonight. But before we totally wrap up here, I do just want to give a huge shout out to all of our listeners. The support we have received since we launched has just been overwhelming, and truthfully, it's beyond anything anyone here expected. The messages we've gotten, the reviews, the conversations we've had, they've just left us stunned, and we are extremely humbled by the nice things people have been saying. And if you want to continue to support the show, please consider leaving us a review on iTunes or sharing the show with your friends. That is hands down the best way to support, young adventurers like ourselves. Again, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for your support, and I do hope you enjoyed this adventure from the Knights of Degradation.